My name is Jane Pruitt, and I'm a resident of Bakersfield. I also want to say I came here to raise hell, just like Our Lady talked about. I've got the T-shirt to prove it. All right. I am speaking in support of Councilman Willie Rivera's resolution, which is the House of Representatives Bill number 15. The City Council needs to learn the truth and find the courage to lead the way. California needs to help our 2.6 million undocumented immigrants. These people are part of the fabric of our workforce. They are our gardeners, your gardeners and my gardener. I can't see any of you out in the middle of summer mowing your own lawns. They are the people who are automobile mechanics. They clean our houses, wash our cars, your cars and my car. They prune the grapevines that produce grapes that are shipped all over the United States. Also, some of these grapes are used to make your wine and my wine. They also do the hard work in the fields. Think of the carrots, broccoli, asparagus, fruit, and nut trees, the products of which we all enjoy. I'm sure some of the men who erected my backyard fence were undocumented workers. The same thing is true about the men who replaced my roof. These people are all hard workers. What would we do without them? They are all contributing to California's economy. Another thing to remember is that the Hispanics from Mexico are not strangers to our state. They were here long before the white population that arrived in the 1840s and the 1850s. It is good to remember they were here first. It is time for the council to learn the truth about why the Hispanic immigrants are here. There is a large misunderstanding of why they came. They wanted jobs. They wanted to work. They do the hard work that a lot of white men shun. They are not lazy, and they do not come to be welfare workers or free health. They are looking for free health care. Finally, one last thing. Do you have the courage to do what is right and support Councilman Willie Rivera's resolution? Remember, mowing your own lawn in the middle of summer is not fun.
Good evening. My name is Jose Gurrola, and I stand here with the support of the current Coalition for Citizenship. I am a council member for the City of Arvin, and I'd like to thank you for the honor and privilege of addressing you tonight. And the next holiday, next Tuesday, is the 4th of July, where we celebrate our nation's independence. Independence where we honor the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, where we were endowed by our Creator with those rights. And so that document led to our Constitution, which was discussed tonight. As part of the We the People program, I've discussed that Constitution and I've studied it. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 4 says that Congress has the power to regulate naturalization and immigration. Article 6, Clause 2 states that the laws of Congress, the Constitution, and the treaties are the supreme law of the land. And Article 4, Section 4 states that Republican governments within those states, like your city council, has the right to be existing. And so when we see that there's a broken system, there's a broken law, it needs to be fixed. When there's 11 million people living in the shadows, it needs to be fixed. And it's well within the Constitution to do so. And so standing here looking at what's behind you, in God we trust, e pluribus unum, out of many, one. The God that I pray to, the God that I know is looking down us, doesn't define or doesn't discern between illegal alien or American. And so what we have is 11 million people living in the shadows. 11 million living in the shadows, and you guys were elected officials were elected to solve problems, and doing nothing doesn't solve any problems. And how do we solve the problems? How do we bring these people into the light and help them contribute to the economy, help them be part of our society? and increase tax revenues for cities and states and our nation is with comprehensive immigration reform with a pathway towards citizenship. That's exactly what H.R. 15 does. By title, the Border Security, Economic Opportunity, and Immigration Modernization Act. There's billions of dollars in border security. It streamlines legal immigration. That line that everybody waits, it's faster. The people who are ready to innovate in our country can be in our country and assimilate in our country and pledge allegiance to the same flag that we have here today and that the two little kids did so gracefully today. And so I leave you with one quote, a quote from a former senator and a former secretary of state. The difference between a politician and a statesman is that a politician looks towards the next election. A statesman or woman looks forward for the next generation. Let's leave our next generation, let's solve this problem, let's bring people into the light, and let us together, under the God that we trust, act as one nation and one people. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Audrey Chavez, and I am a citizen of the United States, a proud citizen, and so were my parents. I really didn't understand a lot about immigration issues until I started to pay attention because I had to pay attention. Stories like the one that Paula shared, helped me to understand and to look outside of my world and to recognize some of the issues that are affecting our people here locally, countywide, and nationwide. And when I came in this evening, I looked up as well on the wall, and one of the quotes that was there caught my eye, and it said that in each of us there is a private hope and dream, which fulfilled can be translated into a benefit for everyone and greater strength for our nation. And I believe that. I believe truly in my heart that we have to look at this as a humanitarian issue. We have to recognize the fact of the diversity of our populations here. And we need to also look at the fact that we are not dealing with people who are trying to take advantage. We are dealing with people who want the opportunity, who work harder than some of us who've had the opportunity all of our lives do. I don't know of anyone who works harder than some of the people that I've come to know in learning about this issue. And so we have to recognize that citizens or not, if people are contributing to our economy, if they contribute to our culture, to our history, to our Central Valley, to our city, we have a responsibility as leaders to work together to find answers. I was very disappointed in the locked doors of Kevin McCarthy. And I respect the McCarthy family very, very much. But until I went out and had those experiences, did I realize how far apart we are on an issue where our county and our city, the makeup of us, we do not recognize our neighbors. We do not recognize ourselves. And we need to come together on this, and you have the opportunity. I pray that we will have 7 yeses tonight. And I pray that we can set the standard for what we need nationwide, so we can move beyond this and really deal with other issues beyond a paper, the color of our skin, but humanity. Thank you.
Good evening, Lori De Leon. I live in Ward 3. I've lived in Ward 3 for about 25 years, and I am a constituent of Congressman Kevin McCarthy. First of all, I'd like to say, Mayor, it's very good to see you, and I wish you a full, speedy recovery. Thank you for being here. I'd also like to say to Councilman Rivera, I met Councilman Rivera when his family first moved to Bakersfield, and he was a young boy, about 10 years old, 8 to 10 years old, and I was very proud when you got elected, as council member, but I've never been more prouder of you than I am now when you introduced this resolution to the City Council, and particularly because I also work for the Dolores Huerta Foundation, and we've been working on immigration and a pathway to citizenship for about 6 years here in Kern County, as many of you know. And the foundation, of course, supports and wants the Congress to take H.R. 15 to a vote. as many people have stated here before, the immigrants here that have come to our country are very, very much an intricate part of our country. They support us. They, provide services that, as that has been said, in our food industry, in our factories, our warehouses, our restaurants, our hotels. They take care of our children, our yards, etc., has been stated before. They also, for people who don't really realize, they pay taxes. They pay taxes into Social Security. They pay federal taxes. They pay state taxes. They pay into disability. A lot of the things that they pay Medicare, they pay into these various forms of taxes that we have as part of the pay that they receive. But little do they receive in return. They hardly ever apply for any of these services because they aren't qualified for a lot of them. So and it's an injustice when people say they're only here to take away and to utilize our tax money. They contribute to our economy. They are the backbone of our economy on a local level, on a state level, and on a national level. So, with that said, I just want to say, as all the people that are here in support of it, yeah, the Dolores Huerta Foundation, we engage in nonviolent civic activity. We try to encourage people to get out there. We do vote. We do knock on doors and encourage other people to vote. We may not always have the money to put behind the candidate, but we got people power. And just as you are all here elected, by people, we ask you to be representative of, and please support and endorse HR 15. Thank you very much.
My name is Paola Fernandez, and I'm a Bakersfield resident. I came to this country 24 years ago when I was 4 years old, and I settled in the community of Lamont and graduated from Marvin High School, and eventually went on to Bakersfield College and finished at CSUB last year. Most of that time I have been undocumented, and it is really painful when the place that you call home doesn't accept you for the human that you are. And I stand before you. In 3 minutes, I know you're not going to have the chance to really get to know me or get to know the immigration issue. But I am a part of the community. I have done theater with some of your family members. I have done road cleanups, and I have participated in whichever way I can. And I am a contributing member of society. I have paid taxes even before I had deferred action, which I got last year. And so I just want to say that me and my family have contributed in the best possible way that we know. And I just wanted to say that we have the opportunity for this council to pass a resolution to send a message to Majority Leader-elect Kevin McCarthy to schedule a vote on immigration. We can finally participate in this national debate. And I wanted to say that a majority of Americans support this HR 15, which would help 11 million undocumented immigrants. And when they hear that there's a proposal that would increase Border Patrol, require employers to verify legal status of employees, create a guest worker program, and establish a pathway for legal status for the 11 million undocumented immigrants, 71% of Americans offer their support, with 32% strongly supporting the proposal. And in fact, Republicans supported the proposal by even higher margins, with 81% support and 31% strong support, because they know that this is not only the moral thing to do in our country to keep our families together, but also because it is the right thing to do for our economy. If this were to pass, we would generate trillions of dollars over the next 20 years. Thank you.
My name is Myrna Troncoso Sawyer. I'm a resident of Crowell Way. And my parents were undocumented for the first 8 years of my life. Today, I'm a PhD candidate at the UCLA School of Public Health, and I have been living in Bakersfield conducting my dissertation research here. I have been investigating the health status of low-income families in the Central Valley. This is a unique place to do research because of the abundance of food grown in the region, yet the very difficult health status situation of many of the residents. What I have found is that undocumented families have some of the worst health outcomes, and this is actually directly due to their legal status. These families contribute so much to the economy of the Central Valley, to the economy of California, and of the nation. As someone who grew up in the household with undocumented parents, I can totally understand like what many of the people have said today, that we do contribute. Undocumented families do. My parents paid many taxes despite the fear that they lived in, and they had amazing moral values, which is why you see me here today. I urge you to consider this vote today with compassion, generosity, and humanity, because everybody is looking at Bakersfield. Everybody wants to know how you vote, and how you vote matters not just here in the Central Valley, but for the whole country. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is David Stenner. As I stand here before all of you, my heart is bumping at 1,000,000 miles an hour because this issue is so close to my heart. I have grown up in Bakersfield for 17 years. I came to this country when I was 2 years old. And up until last year, I was undocumented for the majority of my life. And, they talked about living in the shadows, and I know how firsthand that is extremely difficult, especially coming from a mixed status family where I have my brother is a citizen. I get to see, the difficulties that I have to face and the privileges that he has as a citizen. And, there was so much talk thrown around about this level of deservingness between the immigrants, and, the reality is that we are all human. We are all equal, and not one white lady who talked about us raising hell, she doesn't matter more than me. We are equal, and that's the issue here. It's a human issue, a humanitarian issue, and it hurts to my core the fact that I've lived here, I've grown up here. I don't know Mexico, yet that was where I was born, and this is my home, but the fact that I'm not accepted in my own home is a heartbreaking thing to go through. Last year, I remember when my grandfather passed away, I didn't have the opportunity to say goodbye. And, we simply want the opportunities, our families simply want the opportunities to work and provide for our families and lead a simple life. The same opportunities that we do not have in our homelands. These families that you see on a daily basis, these are your neighbors. These are the people that pick your crops. These are the families that are the backbone of this agricultural oasis. These people, these families play a vital role in the well-being of not only Bakersfield, but the entire nation. We need these immigrants. I am a productive member of this society. I volunteer with many organizations. I don't have time to list, but I'm a good person. I feel like I shouldn't have to explain that. My actions are enough, but of course, none of you know me, so you don't know my actions, but a resolution from the city of Bakersfield will put much needed pressure on the majority leader, Kevin McCarthy. And as this Friday or Saturday marks the first anniversary of the passage of H.R. 15 in the House, we hope that you pass this resolution and support our immigrant families. Thank you.